Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Beyond the Ears podcast, a podcast about all things Disney.
Welcome to our part 2 of our Disney World recap. So we kind of ended with day 2. And so we're going to start with day 3 for us, which was Hollywood Studios.
Yes, and again, we rope dropped this park as well. And we also rode the Skyliner, but we were prepared for the Skyliner line this time.
Yeah, and it went much faster.
But we were still like almost in the same spot we were from the first.
Yeah, but the line moved faster. So I don't know what necessarily changed, but it was like half the time.
Yeah, it's true. It moved a lot quicker, for sure.
So we rope dropped Hollywood Studios. Check-in went good. I feel like their security and like the check-in that day was pretty smooth.
Yeah, the only day we didn't have a smooth check-in was Magic Kingdom. And it's because, I'm sorry, but old people do not know how to use the Magic Band and then fingerprint.
Yeah.
They can't figure it out.
Yeah.
So they just need to like only Magic Band them.
Yeah.
Because they can't figure out like they were trying to do the Magic Band and fingerprint at the same time. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my lands.
Yeah, there was a couple times where like people had problems. They had the cards instead of the Magic Bands. And instead of like pulling the group to the side with a cast member and trying to figure out the problem, they would just keep them there and it would hold up the line.
Yeah. That happened multiple times. So we had to jump to different like a line. It's like, oh, we're going over here. And then you try to move over there and then like someone else cuts in front of you. It's like, damn it. So annoying. But anyway, we made it through security and we pretty much walked straight back to
Galaxy's Edge.
And we walked back and there was a line already for the Rise of Resistance.
Yeah.
Which was crazy because Ashley was like passing me on the right and I was pushing Grayson. I'm like, this is the line. This is the line. This is the line. And you were like, oh, for the ride? And I was like, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And another thing that we ran across was stroller parking, which I was like, hop in line. I'm going to go park the stroller. And we had to go find the stroller parking, which happened to us a couple times, and our stroller got moved, which was nerve-wracking as heck.
Yeah, you were stressing out about that.
I was like, well, I just figured our luck, someone would run off with our stroller. Just because.
Yeah. But anyway, Rise of the Resistance, the line moved super fast.
Yeah. It was really quick. I think we were only in line for 20 minutes from rope drop. I think that's about it.
Probably less than that.
Either way, it went quick. But we took lots of pictures because this time I had you hold Grayson a lot more. And we got some really good like videos. And Grayson was not excited to ride that ride again until we got on the ride, and then he was fine. But leading up to it, he did not want to. And then he was like, oh, okay. Like once we got in where you see all the stormtroopers and you're like getting in the rows or whatever, then he kind of was like, fine. But it's just like waiting in line. He just like, I don't want to ride this. I don't want to ride this.
Yeah, he was not a fan of waiting in line. We found that the first 5 minutes or so in lines were the hardest because he was super antsy. But once he kind of settled in and started like, he found something to kind of play with, it was better. But the ride again was awesome.
Yeah, so much fun. And then pretty much right after that, we like went through the whole ride. We went to the
Ronto Roasters.
Yeah.
And we got the breakfast Ronto wraps, which I would highly recommend. So good.
Yeah, those were delicious. Super. I'm like very particular about like how eggs are cooked, especially if it's like an omelet-y, kind of how those are. And it was super soft and fluffy. And it wasn't like burnt. I don't like it when they burn like an egg. It's to me it's like off-putting. But they were like perfectly just yellow.
Yeah. Really good. I feel like those breakfast ones were like $13 a piece, which is more than I expected them to be.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought you were saying for the two. I was
No.
like, oh, that's not that bad.
No, it was $13 a piece.
Oh yeah, so
It is Disney prices, but it filled us both up.
Yeah, because it's like a hot dog practically.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big chunk of meat and quite a bit of egg, and the and like cheese, and then obviously like the wrap, and it fills you up pretty good. Because I was not hungry after that.
Yeah.
We didn't get Grayson one because we knew he wouldn't eat a whole one.
We were still kind of struggling with the constipation.
Yeah, and just him. I think day 3 he really started to settle into the routine of what was going on every day, but he still was just a little fussy in the morning. But he did eat some of my egg off of my wrap, which I was like, oh, okay, at least he's eating something. So, and we got lots of pictures, and then we went to the little right next to it, the Ronto Roasters, the shop, the market.
Oh yeah.
We went to the markets, and we kind of just walked around and shopped through those.
Yeah.
And bought a few things. We did end up going back to these areas and buying more stuff later, but we did buy a few things at first because Grayson was kind of fussy, and he was wanting to, like, every place we went into, he was like, I want a toy, which was another hard thing to get, like, him to, like, stay focused, because every shop we went into, he thought he needed to get a toy.
Yeah.
Which is, like, understandable, yes, but I'm like, but we can't get a toy at every store we go into. And he was just like, he got very frustrated. So
yeah,
we did end up going to a few of the other. We didn't do much after that. We kind of just walked around that area.
Was that the morning where we left pretty early?
Yes.
Yes, it was. Okay.
Yeah, because we went and got him those droids. We got him in a little R2-D2 and a little chopper.
So right next to the droid depot where you can build your own droid, they had a fun little shop that was more droid themed, and so we got him a couple smaller ones. They were like $12 a piece.
Yeah.
An R2-D2 and a chopper.
Yeah. Which we really wanted to avoid the droid depot as much as we could, because it's $120 to build a droid, and we just, maybe next year, but this year definitely not. And he was so fussy at that point, because he was getting more fussy as we were there.
Yeah, and at this point, like after breakfast, he had a little bit of Josh's food. He was still, we can just tell like when he's more irritable, and I think I kind of made the decision that we needed to go ahead and leave early.
Yeah.
So we were only there for
like
2.5 hours or so, and we decided to take our break pretty early that day. And it worked out really well, because when we got when we got back to the resort, he ended up
going
to the bathroom, swimming in the pool, right?
Yeah.
And then taking a good nap.
Yeah, because I ran a load of laundry
Yep.
while we were there too, which was kind of fun, because we had talked about this like the day before. I was like, they've got a laundromat. If we just run out of, like, we can run some of our clothes, because we were already not low on clothes, but like I was burning through underwear, because I was changing underwear every time we would go back.
Yeah,
you're so sweaty.
Well, I think we both didn't pack like a lot of shirts, because we thought we were going to buy a lot of shirts, or at least like I didn't pack a ton of shirts.
Yeah.
And I didn't really buy any shirts until like the end of the trip. And then my pants, like I can always wear a pair of shorts like 3 times before they need to be washed. I didn't account for how hot it was going to be and how sweaty we were going to be.
Yeah.
So you could only wear anything one time, and we all, like, every midday break we took, we changed clothes. Like full outfit change. For the most part, because it was so hot and we were so sweaty.
Yeah.
So Josh ended up doing a load of laundry, and of course Disney has a little laundromat at each of the resorts, and they have a little vending machine with detergent, dryer sheets, and they have obviously the washers and dryers.
Yeah.
So it was pretty nice.
Yeah, and convenient too, because I'm paranoid about, like, someone's gonna take our clothes. I'm just that way.
Yeah.
Same way with like the stroller. Like,
you
someone's gonna take our
were
stroller.
so paranoid. I'm like, literally everyone is leaving their stroller here.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to be out $200 of a stroller because we got an expensive stroller at the time. Probably not now, but at the time when we bought it, it was a big deal for us.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool, the laundromat, though. So, like, you put your detergent in the little detergent area, and then you scan this barcode, and it takes you to this app, which I ended up downloading because I was like, well, we'll probably be back here next year, so
yeah,
might as well have the app. And it shows you, like, your running time. So, like, the washer load was, like, 35 minutes. So I threw all the clothes in there, and I just watched the time go down, and Grayson was asleep at that point. So went through all the washer, and then, like, 40 minutes or 45 minutes in the dryer. And, yeah, it was super easy. And it was only, like, $7 to do a load of laundry, which I didn't think was too bad.
Yeah, especially at Disney.
Yeah, it's because it was like, well, I guess we could go buy more underwear at Walmart off campus, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't really want to do that either.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was easy. Then I got back and we folded the laundry, and then I think at that point, Grayson was starting to wake up, or I was like, hey, we probably need to get going.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two.
I don't remember, but I know we went to Epcot again, right?
Yep.
Because once again, at our break time during the day, we checked wait times to see what park would probably be the best option for us, and Epcot is our favorite. Yeah. So we went back to Epcot.
Yep, and we went immediately over to Ratatouille's, or Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first ride we rode when we got back. And the queue line for that ride
sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked. I hated it.
I don't know what they need to do differently. Like, I mean, I don't know if they can do anything differently, but it's like once you get out of the hot from the outside, you go into these little rooms
tiny little rooms that are dark
and hot,
like dark maroon wallpaper, nothing to look at, nothing to do.
Yeah.
And you're all crammed in there. The line moved super slow.
This is the ride. Yeah, I was gonna let you say.
So we waited the longest out of everything the entire week at this ride. Mm-hmm. And it was because, so obviously all of the rides have the standby queue for the most part and the lightning lane queue. So when you pay extra for lightning lane, it's basically like a fast pass. You kind of get your first dips. But the cast members are supposed to do a specific ratio of standby line to fast pass people or lightning lane people. Mm-hmm. So they're supposed to let more of the lightning lane people in and then do a smaller amount of regular people. Well, they were literally dumping all of the lightning lane people in. And then once that line was empty, they would do a little bit of the standby queue. And by the time they put some of the standby queue people in, there would be more lightning lane people. So you'd only get a few of the standby queue people, and then they would dump the rest of the lightning lane. And it took forever. Like, we hardly moved at all.
Yeah, it's kind of sucked.
Yeah, they were doing it incorrectly because we didn't have that experience on any other ride, and we got to see it firsthand when we got up closer. Mm-hmm. And then later in the week, we actually did the lightning lane, and we could see.
Oh yeah, it was just everyone went in.
Dumped all of us in there. We didn't have to wait at all.
Yeah,
which that was great for us at the moment, but it sucks for the people who are waiting in line.
Yeah, literally waited like I think
we waited an hour.
Mm-hmm. An hour almost exactly. So it was really, I wouldn't say shitty, but it was just like, God dang, that was annoying. Grayson was not a fan of this ride either, because I think the effects of the big screens that you watch really screwed with him.
Yeah.
Like
he doesn't understand, like, so part of the ride, it like the ride vehicles tilt you and
it looks like you're falling.
It looks like you're falling, but you're obviously not falling. You're just tilted. Yeah. But he doesn't understand that concept yet.
Yeah.
So the ride, he didn't really react on the ride very much.
No.
After the ride, he was like, no, didn't like that.
I hate that ride. And we're like, okay.
Yeah.
And it got you wet at one point. They like
just
take
a little bit.
And it squirts you with a little bit of water.
Yeah.
And I think that startled him too, because That's what the next time we rode the ride, he's like, I don't want to get wet again. And we're like, it's fine. We'll cover your face.
Yeah.
Not a fan. But we rode that. And then after that, I think we kind of walked around kind of towards
Is this the part where we went to Figment?
Yeah. We got to ride Ashley's favorite ride.
So I've been to Disney World several times. And the first several times I went, I didn't even know Figment like was still a thing. Like it was still a ride. And up until recently, I found out like it's still a ride. So I was like, I've never been on it. I had no idea what to expect, but I was so excited. And it was just a 5-minute wait. We pretty much got right on there. So excited, and I freaking hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it.
She was so
hated it.
So giddy to get on this ride. She's like, Mommy's never rode this ride, Gray. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, she's really excited about this ride. And now, because me trying to figure out why everyone is obsessed with this little dragon, because I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, and I really don't understand it now because the ride sucked.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Was it like a TV show or something?
I don't know. No. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't understand why everyone's so obsessed with it.
But anyway, this ride, disgusting. Like, old. It smelled super weird. Ew. I hated it.
Grayson loved it.
And the technology, so outdated. Oh my God. It was just awful.
Grayson loved it.
I know he did.
He had the best time.
I can't get over. I think it was the smell that really got me the most. Because I'm like, this ride is so old. And it's like the equivalent, like what an old folks home smells like, but like an old ride. I don't even know. It's nasty. Hated it.
Yeah. Yeah, we got off and I was like, well, what'd you think? She's like, I hated that. And I was like, wow.
They should.
I did not have a fun time, but Grayson was having fun. And it was just more fun watching him. But Ashley was just like, there's a couple times I remember looking over at you and your face was just like, this is disgusting.
Get me out of here. And of course, it did one of those things where there was a scene where it was black light in like a neon house. It was Figment's upside down house or something. Mm-hmm. Everything was neon and it was like a black light. And it just was so old and I don't understand. I don't understand the hype. The visuals in the ride were absolute crap. Ugh.
Yeah, you have very dated like screens.
Oh my God, they need to gut that thing. Seriously.
Tell me how you really feel about it.
It's actually, it really annoys me.
Yeah,
but
I don't understand. Like I said, I don't understand the hype around the Figment character.
He was annoying.
Yeah,
and the ride, if I was a kid, it would have freaked me out.
Yeah, but you're weird as a kid too.
Yeah, but yeah, not a fan. Don't understand it. But I will say the redeeming quality was that it was in the Imagination Pavilion. Mm-hmm. And so when we got off the ride, Grayson got to meet Joy from Inside Out.
Yep.
And that was a real Disney magic moment.
Yeah, it was super fun. We got it all on video. And like I posted on like my personal TikTok about it. We need a Beyond the Ears TikTok, I think.
Yeah.
Account. But yeah, we waited in line and literally it was Grayson's turn and they're like, "Hey, Joy's got to go back to like Imagination World or
check in on Sadness."
Yeah.
But they were doing a character swap. So they just needed an actor swap.
Yeah. So we told Grayson, we're like, "Hey, she's just got to go potty and she'll be right back." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like so excited.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah.
So she came back out and the first thing he did was like, he went up and hugged her. And then they like skipped and like danced over to the where they take the picture. And he hugged her again, and because that's all he said whenever we were waiting in line. He's like, "I'm gonna give her a big hug." And we're like, "Okay." This is super cute.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was super fun.
They should redo that entire pavilion and do Inside Out. Since Inside Out 2 is coming out,
Oh, that
they
would
can
be
have
fun.
people riot about Figment, and then all those people can get over it.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're already in that imagination. What is it? Imagination pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
So you just retheme that pretty much to like the inside of like the mind.
Yeah.
Like on the little train. Like the train of thought train.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
So
That could be the ride. They can just tear out all of Figment, the whole thing,
yeah.
and gut it like trash.
And maybe they can have more characters to take pictures with, like anger and sadness and
Yeah.
Disgusted.
Disgust, yeah.
Disgust. And what was the other one? Scared.
Anger.
Or anxiety.
I can't remember. Anger, sadness, disgust, joy. Anger, sadness.
I just know it's the Bill Hader verse.
Yeah.
Person that voices it.
Can't
But either
remember.
way, that would be a really fun thing to do. Like, we're going to take the train of thought train and have like just more
It
of an
needs to be, like,
interactive.
bright and colorful. Figment was so like dark and gross.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, we left the pavilion. We went outside
And we saw Winnie the Pooh.
and we got to see Winnie the Pooh, which was super fun.
Yeah. And it was weird, though. He was behind. He was like.
He was behind the fence because he was like out in the forest
Yeah.
kind of thing. But Grayson got to say hi to him or her. I don't remember if Pooh is a girl or
I think he's a boy.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, he said hi, and Grayson got another Mickey pretzel because at this point he hadn't ate a lot and he didn't want food. And we had I think we got a couple snacks at this point, and he was like not all about it at all.
Yeah.
I think we got those beignets.
Yeah, in France.
Mm-hmm.
The cheese beignets were super good.
Yeah.
Really good.
And then after that,
Spaceship Earth, wasn't it?
nope. Oh, yeah, it was because we told him that we were gonna ride that, and then we went to the Guardians right after that, and we waited because we got a virtual queue for that ride that day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we were at the hotel, and you were like, "I got us in for virtual queue at Guardians of the Galaxy," and I was like, "Yes!" And it was like a
40-minute wait.
Yeah, 240-minute wait. So we learned like the virtual queues are kind of handy, even though they're kind of weird. But for the most part, I think that it works better.
Yeah, we'll have to do a
Then, like,
whole episode talking about like the lightning lane, the virtual queue, the Genie Plus, all that kind of stuff.
And I thought it was just better because you don't have just some long, absurd line out the ride the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, you've got 200. I think after we rode Remy, it was like 198 minutes or something like that. And it was like, oh, okay. So we don't have too long. I mean, it's still a while, but
yeah,
it's just, you kind of have like a better idea of like what to do. Oh, and before we rode Spaceship Earth, after Figment, we went to the Hawaii area, and we got those pork sliders and the Spam sushi.
Oh, yeah.
Which was delicious. The Spam sushi was delicious. The pork was okay, but
it was too spicy.
The Spam sushi was awesome. So we rode Spaceship Earth again, and Grayson rode with me this time, and loved it again.
And I just got to chill by myself.
Yeah.
That ride is to me, it's so interesting. And I don't know. I really enjoy it. Classic.
Well, yeah. And I mean, it's the big ball. So Grayson was like all about that. And then after that, we made our way to Cosmic Rewind, where the fun really started to happen.
Oh my God. So we got to experience doing the rider swap for the first time. So we went into the ride because Grayson is technically tall enough to ride it. We went into the ride. We asked the cast member at the entrance to see how the rider swap worked. And at that time, we wanted to ask about it, but we thought Grayson was maybe going to ride
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't really have any true picture of what the ride was actually going to be. And she said that they had a lot of young Terrans who really enjoy the ride.
Mm-hmm.
But once we got a little bit further into the queue, Grayson acted like he was completely terrified. So we were like, no, like, you don't have to ride. It's okay.
And then
We had to reassure him the entire time that we were in line, like over and over and over again, that he did not have to ride. We tried to explain that we were going to do the rider swap where Daddy was going to ride first while Mommy waited with Gray, and then we were going to switch. And for some reason, he kept thinking like he was going to be he was going to be left alone. And we're like, no. Mommy's going to stay with you while Daddy rides. And then when Daddy gets off, he's going to stay with you while Mommy rides. So that's what we did. We did the rider swap. Once we actually got up to like where they put you on the ride is when you pretty much switch.
Yeah. But before, she's like, oh, they normally do it up here, or you can do it when you get down there.
Yeah.
And if we did it up at the top where she said, that means you would have had to wait down there the whole time.
Yeah.
But you would have missed the queue too, which would have been totally fine because the queue kind of sucks.
The queue sucked. For how amazing the ride is and how new it is, like the queue, not great.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's
but
not
we can go into more detail.
Yeah.
About that.
Okay, so I rode first.
Yep, Josh rode first.
And obviously I'm a single rider, and I'm like waiting there, and I'm like, oh, single rider. They point me to like I went to the last car on my first time, and the lady behind me, she was like, have you rode this yet? And I was like, no. And she's like, oh, it's so much fun. She's like, but I just rode and mine stopped midway through, so they had us reboard and get back on. I was like, oh wow, like that sucks and interesting. And she was doing rider swap as well, and we got on the ride, and I was like, holy crap, like, because it zooms you up like a hill, obviously. And they're like, okay, Guardians. Like, obviously, you see all the Guardians on the screen. They're like, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
And this ride is just freaking awesome.
Yeah. So, obviously, I rode after Josh. We can both talk about our ride experience.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, like, I went through the whole ride. And the whole time I'm thinking, like, it's a combination of, like, rock and roller coaster and Space Mountain, kind of. Because you don't see like anything at all other than like flashing lights. And honestly, it was really hard for me to focus on like the actual, like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Because I was more like just watching, like you see like the moon, like you fly around the moon, and you fly around Earth. And like you pay attention to that because those are like actual balls that are like out there. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, it's like, yeah.
I think my first ride on Guardians was probably the happiest I've ever been. Because I got Conga, the song.
Yeah.
And it was like heaven. Like I was just like in a state of complete bliss. Because it was, by the way, like Grayson could have never.
Oh,
it was way too intense for a kid. Yeah. Like I would say maybe an 8-year-old could probably do it, but definitely not a toddler. No, it was way too intense, but I had the freaking best time of my life.
Yeah. So when I got off, I was like, I looked at you and I was like, holy crap, I'm be curious like to what you think. Because I was like, at that point, I loved it so much, but I didn't want to be like super biased.
Yeah, you were like pretty calm when you got off, and I was like, I don't know what to think right now, because normally you can't really hide your emotions.
Yeah.
So
well, and that's kind of what I was like, okay, I don't want to be like freaking out too much because I love the ride, but I don't want her to have like really, really high expectations and then get off and be like, God, that wasn't as fun as I thought it was gonna be. And by the way, I think I had one way or another both times I went.
Did you?
Yeah.
I had Conga the first time, and then what's the other one? You can keep talking, I'll look it up.
I was trying to think what we did the second time. Oh yeah, the second time we just single rode it
We did a lightning lane.
with a lightning lane, which Grayson and I just sat out and we got like a drink and waited for Ashley. But yeah, so the rider swap though is super, super convenient and pretty easy.
I got conga the first time and I ran the second time.
Let me see.
And conga is apparently like the best song you can get, and it was crazy good.
Yeah. Yeah, I got one way or another both times.
I feel like that would be really good.
Yeah.
I feel like September would have been fun too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the songs honestly are.
But conga, oh my god.
Come on, shake your body like a banana.
Doing that song and then what the ride is just like, what? What is happening? I literally like the friggin' dorkiest smile on my face the whole time, the first ride.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea what to expect, and it's just so smooth and flowy.
Oh yeah,
but it's like
super smooth
and fast, and like you're spinning.
I remember spinning, but it's so smooth you don't feel like you're spinning.
Yeah. It did make me a little bit motion sick.
See,
Not a lot, but I definitely felt it after for a little while.
that's the difference between you and me. Like, I'm normally the one to get motion sick,
Yeah.
and I didn't feel that at all.
But I feel like the older I'm getting, the more like sensitive I am. Like I used to ride backwards on rides and like do all these crazy rides and stuff, but now I'm like the teacups make me a little nauseous. Like especially if we were spinning
Yeah.
on the teacups, that would make me nauseous. So it definitely made me a little bit motion sick.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I understand why you would get motion sick because it's a lot going on between like the drops and the spinning, and then you're like trying to pay attention to the screen
Mm-hmm.
and like watch what's happening. It's kind of like when you're in a car and you're trying to watch like TV on your phone, and you kind of get like that weird like, ooh, I'm kind of getting sick to my stomach.
The second time we rode it, I put my hands up, and that was so much fun.
Yeah, I put my hands up on the first time.
I
pretty
didn't
much the
because
whole
I was
time.
just trying to take it in,
Yeah.
and I didn't know, like you do go upside down towards the beginning, or like almost all the way upside down.
Yeah, I think you do like a corkscrewy.
I think you do a corkscrew. But oh my god, if you like roller coasters, do it.
See,
Ride it. It's so good.
that's what I think the difference is between that ride and like Rise of the Resistance. Rise of the Resistance is like a really awesome ride,
Yeah.
but like Guardians is an awesome roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they're kind of like one and one. But
They're
it's just
different. Yeah, definitely. Like, they're both so fun. So fun. I couldn't ride Guardians over and over again because it would make me sick. Like I wouldn't be able to ride it 2 times in a row. I could ride it in the morning and maybe in the evening, but I couldn't ride it back to back. It would make me probably throw up.
Yeah.
Because I've turned into a wimp, but the ride is amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, we did the rider swap, and then after that, we both got off, and like Ashley's face coming out of it when Grayson's like, "Look, it's mom," and she was just like, "Oh my god, that was so much freaking fun! I had the conga," and I was like, "Oh, okay, wow." And she's like, "What did you have?" And I was like, "I think I had one way or another," and she was just like super excited about it. I was like, "Okay, I'm glad you were excited because I was super excited. I just didn't know what you were gonna think." Because I was like, it could have gone one of two ways. Like, the first time we rode Flight of Passage, we both were like tears of joy because it was so fun. And it's just like so interesting. And this was like, it's different because it's like a coaster. And I don't know how you feel about coasters anymore. Because like you said, you've kind of like not turned into a wimp, but like,
I'm a little more sensitive.
yeah. So I was like, I don't know how she's going to feel.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't want to say anything.
Dude,
when I
it
got
was
off.
crazy good.
Like, yeah. It
Like,
was so much fun.
It raised the bar.
Yeah.
Just raise the bar. Like nothing will be able to compare as far as a coaster is concerned.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I love that like the whole time you're in space technically.
Yeah.
And like there's just thousands of tiny little lights like stars
Dude,
the whole time.
so You need to write it. Like if you go to Disney, you have to. You have to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was fun.
let's move on.
Okay. After that, we went. I think Ashley was like, "I need something to eat. I'm hungry."
Yeah, so that's the thing about Epcot, because we opted to just snack around the world because it was the Food and Wine Festival instead of doing like big meals. And I feel like I was always like a little hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So
She ended up getting food. And while she was getting food, Grace and I went to this little play area.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
By
We
the
went to Epcot so many times. It's hard for me to differentiate.
Well, I know. I'm just looking at the photos here. Because we closed Epcot that night practically.
Mm-hmm.
We were there at night. But yeah, so Grayson got to play at this little playground area. It's right next to the Connections Cafe or the shop.
Mm-hmm.
And he loved it. Had such a good
Yeah.
time. I think we ended up, I think he went to the bath. You took him to the bathroom once.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, he pretty much played there for at least, I think, like 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And had just a great time
Yeah,
with all
because
the other kids.
I got the snack at one of the food stands.
I think the
It was
Smokehouse
like
or something like that.
it was really good. But I can't remember. I don't know. I got the snack. We watched him play for a little bit, and then I decided to go ahead and go into the shop that was right there just to kind of look around. Epcot has really good shops.
Yeah, that
feel like-
Connections shop is huge.
Yes, it's huge. So I went in there just to kind of glance around, and then while Grayson played for a little bit, and then did we go to Norway again?
Yep.
Pretty much every time we were in Epcot, we went to Norway at least once
Yeah.
to get snacks.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty much after that, I got a coffee at Joffrey's,
Oh, yeah.
which I loved Joffrey's, by the
Yeah.
way. Had a great time getting coffees there. And then I think we just walked. We pretty much just wandered around the pavilion, World Showcase.
Yeah, and then we got snacks at Japan, didn't we?
Nope, that was the first time we went.
And the last.
And the last.
Yeah.
This time we just, this is when I took the really cool pictures of the lake. With my phone.
Yeah.
It was dark, and then we were walking over towards the Japan area, and that band was playing.
Oh, right.
The
cover band, yeah.
the Hooligans, I think is what they were called, and God, they were so good.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing Black Dog by Led Zeppelin, and it sounded so freaking good. And I think honestly after that, we headed back to the resort. It was pretty late at that point.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like we did a lot, but this whole time, like, we've got bathroom breaks. We were stopping for snacks, for drinks,
Yeah.
kind of going in and out of shops.
Oh, that's when we bought all the stuff at Norway. It's when I got my Norway shirt.
Oh, okay.
It's when you got the little spoon holder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Grayson got anything while we were over there in that area.
Not in Norway, I
But-
don't think.
I ended up losing my shirt
Yeah.
from Norway, which I don't know where it went, but it's gone. But yeah, I think we walked around a lot of different shops.
Yeah.
And then we headed out of the park, and it was nighttime at that point. And I think as we were leaving on the Skyliners, the fireworks were going off.
Oh, right, because Grayson
and
pointed
Grayson
them
was,
out.
yeah, he was like, "Oh my!" He's like, "Look, the big ball! It's fireworks!" And we're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, yep." So that was super fun too. And went back to the resort, and I don't know if we got a snack.
I'm sure we did.
Oh, you know what? That's the night we bought the pizza
Ooh.
at the hotel
Mm-hmm.
and the cafeteria. So we bought a cheese pizza and walked back to our room and ate the cheese pizza and refilled our water, our fridge with water.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of just hung out and showered off. And I mean, obviously Ashley and I like take turns on like showering off. Like she goes first to shower off while I watch Grayson and eat pizza. And then like we kind of just switch back and forth.
Yeah. Obviously, someone is supervising the child
Yeah.
at all times. We don't just leave him.
Yeah.
If we do feed him, we take bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
You know, we do the normal things. We just don't think to like mention that all
Yeah.
the time.
But yeah, we went to sleep and then we woke up the next day and it was Animal Kingdom Day
Animal Kingdom Day.
and my birthday.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun. Getting to like be at Disney World on my birthday was actually really cool.
Yeah, obviously. A big birthday, 30.
Yeah. Yep. The best birthday I've had since I probably turned 21, honestly.
Yeah, your 21st birthday was really cool.
Yeah. So funny thing, every time we left the resort to go to like the buses or the Skyliners, you go walk through this like pool area and like the Little Mermaid pool where it's got all these statues and there's a treasure chest.
Yeah.
And every time we walked by it, Grayson had to grab treasure for the day.
Yeah.
And it's just it was just something that cracked me up because I'm looking at the pictures now of him like
Yeah.
grabbing the imaginary treasure. He's like, it's a treasure chest. I need to grab some treasures.
Yeah.
So he went up and would grab it every time. And then we got onto the bus and got to Animal Kingdom, and then there was another line.
Yeah.
Another lovely line.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad at Animal Kingdom. We were initially gonna do Flight of Passage, and then once we got up there, once we got closer, we were like, no, like we don't want to do a rider swap first thing. We want him to get to experience whatever we do first. So we completely skipped Flight of Passage, and we just did the Navi River journey as a family.
Yeah.
And I think that was the right call.
Yeah. Because the freaking Flight of Passage line was huge.
Oh, yeah. Everyone rope drops that. So we went to the Navi River journey. It was fun.
Yeah, and the wait was only about 10 minutes.
Yeah. Not bad at all. They were really packing them on, like filling up the boats. So it wasn't like the smoothest ride because there were so many boats in the ride the whole time. Like we were all back to back to back.
Yeah, bumping into each other.
Yeah. But I think Grayson liked it. It wasn't anything spectacular.
Yeah, the Navi River ride is like cool and fun to look at, but it's very...
They spent all the money on Flight of Passage.
Yeah.
And the World of Pandora. They ran out of money.
Yeah.
So after the Navi River journey, we went to
Kilimanjaro Safari.
No, well, we got breakfast.
Oh, that's
at
right, yeah.
Was it Pongu Pongu?
Yeah, Pongu Pongu.
We got the cream cheese and pineapple spring rolls, and then we got Grayson like a sausage biscuit kind of thing, and we got the Night Blossom. Each one of us got the Night Blossom drink with the boba balls.
Yeah.
Those are good. Grayson loves boba balls, obviously. Most kids probably do. So we got that. Those cream cheese spring rolls
were delicious.
Really good. For some reason, Grayson didn't like that, but he did eat the sausage and egg biscuit.
Which I was telling Ashley, because he didn't eat all of it. He ate like a good amount, but he was like, I don't want it no more. And I ate some of it, and I was like, damn, like that's a really good biscuit sandwich.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
And I was telling Ashley, I was like, that's probably one of the best like breakfast biscuit sandwiches I've ever had.
Yeah.
Could have been because I was my birthday and everything too, but and then we talked when we were sitting there eating, we talked to this super sweet lady.
You talked to the super sweet lady.
Yeah.
I kind of sat there.
She's from Indiana, and she was just like
Josh and I have very different personalities as far as how social we are. I don't really like to talk to people.
Yeah. So her and I talked for like freaking 20 minutes practically.
Yeah. And Grace and I took a bathroom break, and
yeah, she was super sweet, an older lady. And she's talking about like all the time she's been to Disney World and asking about us. And it was really fun though. And it was like, she's from the Midwest. We're from the Midwest. So it was kind of like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like that's fun to talk to you about that. So and then after that, we went to Kilimanjaro Safari, which we were super excited about.
Yeah, that worked out great. And there was hardly any wait. I think the wait time said 15 minutes by the time we got over there, and it was less than that to get on.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, Grayson loved it.
Yeah.
It was amazing. We got to see a lot of the animals because it was still early in the morning. The lion, well, we saw a couple of the lions, a male and a female. Mm-hmm. And the male lion was like chuffing.
Yeah, he's very vocal.
Very vocal, and Josh got it all on video.
Yeah, super cool.
And Grayson's reaction to all of this was just magic.
Yeah.
He loves animals anyway.
Yeah.
So it was very special.
Yeah, he was all about the lion. And it was so cool because like they're obviously feeding these animals to get them to come out where you can see them.
Well, the lions have an air conditioned rock.
Oh.
That's why they're always
up in
laying
that
there.
spot.
Yeah. They pump air through there so that they
Feel good.
Yeah, they're comfortable.
Oh, that's such a good idea. But yeah, it was so cool. He was just like for like 30 or 40 seconds he was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And our skipper was a lot better than the skipper we had last time. He talked so fast. You couldn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
So it was crazy.
So we rode that.
Yep.
And you got to do that every time you go to Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's super fun.
And then
we walked through the Rafiki's Planet Watch. Or is that what
we watched no, that's a whole other area. You have to take a train over there.
Oh.
We walked through the small
like zoo-ish
gorilla exhibit.
Yeah. It was really cool. There's a baby gorilla.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like too special.
No, it's just like, yeah, it's very normal, like zoo kind of vibes, other than just like a ton of walking.
And so then after that, we went to Dinoland
USA.
Yeah.
And we
wanted to see it one last time before it gets changed into something else.
Yep.
Which we're fine with.
Yeah. Man, we walked over there and that area is just dead.
It was pretty dead.
There's nothing going on.
I was looking at the wait times for the dinosaur ride pretty much our entire trip, and it was always like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It used to, back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it used to be a very popular ride. Like the line was always like 45 minutes, kind of up there with like your average like
big ride.
But it was about 5 minutes the entire trip.
Yeah. Well, Animal Kingdom will get super busy once they do this new area. Because from the way it sounds, it's going to be like an Indiana Jones ride that's replacing the dinosaur ride.
What was officially announced?
The Indiana Jones ride.
Okay, so it's like an Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland.
And that's what they think is going to change.
Okay.
Change it over to.
Okay.
It's not like officially been said, but
okay. Because there's been a lot of different kind of rumor mills on what it's going to be.
That and it's supposed to be like an Encanto.
Encanto's very popular
area, and like an Indiana Jones kind of South America kind of vibe.
Okay.
That's what they want. So yeah, after that, Grayson went on this little park area.
The Boneyard.
The Boneyard.
Yes,
yeah.
it's basically just a playground. Really cool. It had a lot of slides, really tall slides, but they're the ones that are like cylindrical. So yeah. I feel like safer with him in one of those slides. It's obviously there's cast members there making sure everything's going okay, but it was a great little playground for kids.
Yeah, he got wore out. Like he
was dripping sweat,
yeah,
and
yeah.
So after that, we got a little snack, and then we headed out.
Yep.
For the day.
And then we got back, and this is the day that we went off campus.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So we went back and we swam first because we wanted to cool off because we were all so freaking hot. We went to the Nemo pool, and then I think we ended up going back into the Little Mermaid pool. No, actually, no. It wasn't the Nemo pool. We did that the day before.
I don't know.
Either way, we swam in a pool regardless. Because I'm looking at the pictures you took of me and him when we were in the pool.
Oh, right.
Then we left campus for...
Big mistake. Huge.
Yeah. And it was not fun.
Yeah.
So...
You lose the magic the second you step off campus.
Yeah.
So we wanted to go to a couple Disney outlets so that we could buy merchandise for like half the price, which we did get some things, but those stores were insanely busy and
not worth it.
It wasn't worth it because it's a Disney store, but it's not Disney. So we Grayson had a little snack, and then we went back to the resort.
It sucked. And we picked up Chick-fil-A.
Oh, right.
On the way back.
Because he was very hangry at that point.
Yeah. And he ate a little bit. And this is the day he did not nap at all. Because we went back to Animal Kingdom. Or not back to Animal Kingdom. Back to Hollywood Studios that night.
And he fell asleep in the stroller. Yeah.
Which was like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. We were both excited that fell asleep because he needed a nap. And then we're like, well, we can't actually do anything now because you can't take strollers in basically anywhere.
Yeah.
Except to shop. So like we wanted to do the Walt Disney Museum at Hollywood Studios, and I started walking in with a stroller, and she's like, oh, you can park your stroller over there, and I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
We can't walk through this museum with our stroller.
Yeah, which was crazy to me because I'm like, it's just a museum, and
Yeah.
how many people are walking through this museum?
Nobody's in there. They're all in Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
So
So
which, like, it's not her fault, it's just the rules.
yeah.
We weren't like mean or anything. We're just like, okay, well,
yeah.
never mind.
So I think I ended up getting another coffee
Yeah.
and some waters cups, and I think you got something, and it was just like, all right, because we were both like really exhausted at this point because that's the day it was freaking hot,
Mm-hmm.
and we were both like
Animal
super
Kingdom, man, that morning, like, really,
roasted us.
yeah.
So we were both like trying to just like find our second wind, which we couldn't find a second wind at all.
Yeah.
And we went and got food at what was the place that we got? It was where you got your little briskety food. I can't remember what it was called. But I ended up getting like a salad, like a chicken salad. It was super delicious.
Oh, Docking Bay 7?
Yes.
Okay, well, back up. So when Grayson fell asleep,
Oh, okay.
we basically just shopped the entire time. So we went over to, we go over to Galaxy's Edge first?
Yeah, we were in Galaxy's Edge pretty much the whole time we shopped.
Well, we went through all of the main road.
Oh, yeah.
We shopped at the front of Hollywood Studios, and then we went back to Galaxy's Edge because this was one good thing about him falling asleep, is that he was asleep, so he couldn't ask for a toy in every single store, and we could actually look at what we wanted to look at. So that was kind of nice. We got a couple things, and then we went to Docking Bay 7 and got some food.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
The food was really...
Yeah,
really
the
good.
food was good. You got a salad.
I got a salad because I was so hot and like just wore out. I wanted something light because I was like, God, I do not want anything heavy. Like if I had like a potato and like steak, I would be like so like crappy feeling. So I wanted something that wasn't just gonna completely gut my stomach.
Yeah.
And I saw the salad and I was like, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. It was like chicken salad with some sort of special glaze, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
I got a beef and broccoli stir fry, which was more like a brisket stir fry with weird vegetables. It was really good though.
Yeah, and Grayson didn't get anything because he was pretty fussy, but we got him this like moof juice.
Yeah.
Which was like a pineapple orange juice, and he had just woke up from his nap at that point, so we knew he wouldn't be hungry. So then after that we walked around a little bit more, and then I think we rode Rise of the Resistance again.
Okay, yeah, and he did not want to ride.
Yeah. And I ended up getting a shirt. Oh no, we didn't end up riding it again.
Was that the other day? I don't remember.
That's the night that I ended up getting the shirt, and I couldn't decide if I wanted one shirt or two shirts.
Oh yeah.
And you were like, you've had enough shirts, Josh.
You bought several shirts.
I bought 3
like,
shirts.
I think I bought one shirt. And shirts are expensive. They're like $40.
Yeah, anywhere from $25 to like $35.
No, your shirt was $40.
Yeah, after taxes.
No, they're $39.99.
Oh, well, either way, they're expensive.
Your Norway shirt was only $30.
Oh, okay.
But for a T-shirt, like,
yeah, I know, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, all T-shirts are even online. Just like the nerd shirts that I get like this, that's like $30. It's crazy. $30 for a freaking T-shirt.
I'm just used to like TJ Maxx prices $7.99.
Yeah, well, not at Disney World.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, so we pretty much closed that park again because that was the last time we were at Hollywood Studios, and I kept saying, "This will probably be the last time at Hollywood Studios. Do you want to do anything else before we like call it quits, kind of thing?"
Well, didn't we ride Toy Story again? The Midway Mania ride.
We rode Midway Mania,
and we got snacks at Woody's lunchbox.
That was in the morning.
Okay.
When we went in the morning. Not yesterday.
All right.
Or the day before. So, yeah. Way to blow that, guys. Because we totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I even looked at the picture of us eating that nasty cookie Pop-Tart thing.
So we got the iconic Pop-Tarts from Woody's lunchbox, and they were not as good as I thought they were going to be.
It's not a Pop-Tart, it's a cookie.
It's very much a cookie. And there was like hardly any filling in it. So it was just a cookie.
Yeah.
And not a great cookie.
Yeah.
It was like $5.
Yeah.
So, but Grayson liked it. I mean, kids like cookies, but
yeah. So yeah, back to Hollywood Studios on the Wednesday. We kind of just walked around and bought a couple things, and then that was it. We left the park, went back to the hotel, and I think that's the night we got the cherry Danish and like the cinnamon roll. And then Grayson ended up getting the yogurt from the cafeteria. And unfortunately, we had to wake up the next day for our last full day at the park, which was sad. So I took lots of pictures before we went to the park. And we ended up going back to Epcot. Wait, no. That was Ohana. That was a Ohana day.
Oh my God. Sorry, it's all like blending together now that it's been a couple days since we've been home.
Yeah.
But yes, this was the best day.
Yeah.
Best day ever.
Yeah.
So we did a breakfast reservation for Ohana.
Thank you, Megan, for also being like, that's my favorite thing. Cause
Listen, I wanted to do it too.
Well, I know you wanted to do
but
it,
but
she like
solidified.
verified,
Yeah.
like, it's super good.
So one thing that was kind of tricky was getting from Art of Animation to the Polynesian Resort, because the buses take you to the parks, and from the parks you can get to any of the resorts or the other parks, but you cannot go from resort to resort
unless you drive.
Yes. So we had to get on a bus for Magic Kingdom. The bus line was crazy.
Everyone went to Magic Kingdom on Thursday.
Yeah, they ended up bringing like several buses out, and it worked out fine. We didn't have to wait very long. But we had to take a bus over to Magic Kingdom. We had to go through security at Magic Kingdom, bag check and everything. And then we had to take the monorail over to the Polynesian.
Which was super fun.
It was fun because that was the first time we got to ride the monorail.
Yeah, and I love the monorail so much.
It was really fun. But it was quite the adventure getting over there. But then we got to the Polynesian, and Ohana, best freaking thing we did.
Yeah. It was the best.
Oh my God. So they serve it family style. So we got sat right at the window, which was beautiful. We got to overlook the lake
and like the pool area.
And it was beautiful. And
Grayson also kept asking.
He wanted to go down and swim.
Can we go swim down there? Can we go swim down there, please?
Once we got the food though, he kind of stopped.
Yeah.
So they bring out like this
big skillet.
Well, the bread thing.
Oh, it's like a coconut lemony kind of like morning bread, I think is what they call it.
Yeah, for everybody to share. And then they bring out fruit. Yep. And then drinks are included. And they bring out a full skillet of like scrambled eggs, sausage, biscuits, Mickey and Stitch waffles. We have to ask for the bacon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
And so you all put like you fill your plates with that, and it's all you can eat. So if you want more potatoes, you just ask for more potatoes, and they'll bring you out a full skillet of these potatoes.
Yeah, which ended up happening for us.
We got a full skillet of potatoes. We got a skillet of bacon, because we saw another table had bacon, and then we got the waffles again.
God, the waffles were so good.
Grayson ate so good.
Yeah, I know. He really did eat good. Like, he ate all the fruit that we gave him because he loved, and we showed him how to use the butter knife, which was like the first time he's really used like a knife on his own. But I was like, oh, maybe that'll keep him like occupied because he was so obsessed with looking at the water. I want to go down there and swim. Like, we can't go down there, buddy.
Yeah.
But we didn't say that. We were just like trying to keep him contained to like calm down. And then like he's obviously wanting to see Stitch because it's a character dining experience.
Yeah. And the first thing we saw when we walked in, Lilo was right there, and he wanted to go say hi, and we're like, oh, you have to wait till, because all of the characters come to your specific table.
Yeah.
All 4 of them.
Yep.
So our waitress was fantastic.
Yeah, they were all
They bring like continuous juice. You have unlimited coffee, unlimited soda, whatever you want to drink. She was really attentive. And then so they have Lilo and Stitch, Pluto, and Mickey Mouse. And every like 25-30 minutes or so, they kind of take a break and they do a dance around the restaurant. And that was super fun. And then of course every single one of them stops at your table to say hello, and you can get pictures and stuff.
Yeah it was so fun. And they told us, they're like, well, they could be anywhere from like
it takes up to 75 minutes,
but up to 75 minutes to see them all.
Yeah.
Just depends on like where you get sat and where they're kind of at in the restaurant already, because they kind of just flow through the whole restaurant.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so much fun. Obviously Grayson is obsessed with Stitch right now, and well, it was before that he was obsessed with Stitch because we've been watching Lilo and Stitch quite a bit here at the house. And he got his picture with Stitch and he freaked out and he gave him a big hug. And then he went over. I didn't see it, but you can tell him what he did.
So Josh had Grayson's Stitch stuffy next to him. And so Grayson left Stitch's side and ran and grabbed the Stitch stuffy and showed him.
Yeah.
And it was, oh my God, it was so cute.
Yeah. Did you get that on camera? Oh, okay. Because I think I took a picture of you and him. And that's when Grayson must have ran behind me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't notice that he'd even like walked over, because I'm like, oh, we gotta get a picture of her.
Yeah. God, it was so special. Lilo was super sweet.
Yeah, and he showed
her
the little Stitch.
Yeah.
And she was like hugging him and kissing the little Stitch character.
Yeah.
And then we got Pluto, which Grayson, I think he knows like who Pluto is, but he doesn't know his name. He just calls it the dog, Mickey's dog. And it was super cute because he, like, the Pluto is like really big, because obviously he's got like a big nose and like a snout. So Grayson, in one of the pictures, you can see Grayson like looking up like, holy crap, that thing is huge. And then after that, Mickey showed up, and Grayson gave Mickey like the biggest hug, which is funny because he hasn't been watching like Mickey Mouse stuff.
He was so excited for Mickey.
But I think it's just because everything at Disney is Mickey.
Yeah.
Like Mickey ears, Mickey, like because it's obviously like the pumpkin, or not pumpkin, but like Halloween time. It's got like the Mickey pumpkin buckets, and everything is just kind of Mickey Mouse anyway. And he got so excited for Mickey.
My God. So magical.
Yeah. It was so much fun. So yeah, we had a great time at Ohana, and Grayson definitely ate like really good.
He ate, yeah.
And had just a blast.
We all ate really good. Obviously you and I do. Oh, every time. But we all felt really great after that. It was well worth the money, and I didn't think it was that expensive considering like what you got.
Yeah. 'Cause you could eat till you were like sick to your stomach.
Oh yeah.
Just keep bringing the food.
And you're there for so long, like.
Yeah, you just snack on the food the whole time practically. And those waffles, so I'm like I'm a waffle snob. Like, it can't be like, oh, I don't want to get a waffle and I cut into it and it's just like hard as rock.
Yeah.
Like an Eggo waffle, sometimes you cut into like an Eggo waffle and it's like, it's a very bad example because Eggo waffles like suck anyway. But it's just like, I don't want to just be chewing on like a rock.
Yeah.
But it had like a really crunchy outside and then like a super soft, fluffy inside. And I was like, shit, these are really good.
Yeah, they were good.
Give me another Stitch one.
Yeah. Yeah. God, that was
so good.
The best thing. Highly recommend. And then after Ohana, we went down to the gift shop in the Polynesian Resort.
Yep.
Which was super fun. They had a lot of great things to look at. We got some pins for Gray. We
yeah, he
looked
really
around
likes
for a
pins.
while.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a grand old time.
Yep. And then we took some pictures. We got on the monorail, and we had to go through the ticket and transportation center, or the transportation and ticket center, hop over to a different monorail to go to Epcot.
Yep. And back to Epcot for the whole day, which was awesome because we love Epcot so much. And it's like, so
Epcot just felt like home.
Yeah. Every time we went over there. So it's fun because the monorail takes you like around like all of Epcot. So you go through like the Guardians area and like it pretty much travels around like the ball. And Grayson loved that the whole time, which I got like really good video of him like super excited about that. And then it dropped, like the monorail actually drops you off at like the front technical entrance of the park, which the whole time we've been dropped off at the Skyliner area where it's like the World Showcase area. So it was really fun because we took a picture with the big ball.
Yeah.
And everything. And he had a great time doing that. And then we went to once we got in and through security, we went to the soda area.
Oh, yeah.
And tried a bunch of different sodas.
Yep.
And looking
Club
at
Cool.
Yeah.
They have redone Club Cool, so it's a little bit more
user
friendly, and it's easy for more people to be in there. Josh went straight for the Beverly because you didn't know, like, it's notoriously disgusting.
Yeah,
and that's why it's there. And so Josh like filled his cup up, and I was like, "You realize that's the nasty one, right?"
I was like, "No," and I took a drink, and I'm like, "Oh, God!" I like threw it out immediately.
But Grayson had a great time. We don't give him soda super often. He definitely doesn't like get a full soda.
He never gets a
hardly
full
ever.
soda. But he will sneak soda drinks out of our drink.
Yeah.
And my little turd.
Yeah.
And he did enjoy. I mean, they're like little tiny cups anyway.
Yeah.
And he really liked. I think it was the red one.
The watermelon.
Yeah, the watermelon.
And then there was another one. God, I can't remember. There was one from. There was like an orange one and like a pineapple-y.
A clear one. It was like
something very fruity,
like pina colada-y kind of tasting.
So he really liked both of those.
Yeah. So we had we just relaxed in that area, and that day is when we bought the Genie Plus.
Oh yes,
because you got the Genie Plus when we were at Ohana.
Yes. Okay. So
two things on that though.
Yeah.
You said we can either do the park hopper option. Or we can do just at Epcot.
Yeah.
And we splurged for the park hopper because we thought we were going to make it to Magic Kingdom.
So we were on the monorail, or we were waiting in line for the monorail to get to Epcot.
Oh, that's right.
And so I went ahead and went on there and purchased the Genie Plus for that day. And there's different options. So it was $17 per person to just do Genie Plus for Epcot. Or $23 per person to do the Genie Plus Park Hopper. So we did the Park Hopper because we were kind of thinking we were going to go to Magic Kingdom and ride Peter Pan. So that was kind of my thought process. That did not end up happening. So we kind of wasted money, but it's fine. Yeah. So we did that. And then we also went ahead and purchased an individual Lightning Lane for Guardians.
And Ratatouille.
That was just the Genie Plus.
Oh.
So there's only one individual Lightning Lane per park. Like that you have to pay the extra for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was $14 per person to do the Lightning Lane for Guardians. So obviously just Josh and I did it. So it was $100 for us to do Genie Plus and one Lightning Lane ride, which was crazy because we already spent so much money to get into the parks.
Yeah. But it was worth it.
It was worth it. So
because if we were gonna ride any ride at the parks, it was gonna be Guardians again.
Yeah. So what we did was it okay? So the first thing I wanted to do was select Frozen because that's one of my favorite rides, and we had not had the opportunity to ride it because the wait times were so long. So our callback time for that one was like 5:15.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went ahead and selected the Ratatouille ride again. And they changed our callback time from like 6 something to like 2 something. And so we were able to like basically get it and then walk right over there and get on.
Yeah.
Grayson hated it the second time even more than he hated it the first time.
Yeah.
He cried the first couple minutes and it was really sad.
Yeah, but these 2 ladies that were sitting behind us on the ride, super sweet little girls. And they were like so excited that Grayson was riding, and they're like, "You did so good."
Yeah.
And it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But they were so sweet. But when back to Guardians, we did it differently this time. We didn't ride or swap.
Mm-hmm.
What we did was you took the lightning lane first, and I hung out with Grayson. And at this point, we'd already went through the Connections gift shop.
Mm-hmm. Got him some toys.
Got him a couple of toys. And we ended up getting the Mickey ears for one of the guys at my work for his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So we got like those, and I think we got something else, but it doesn't matter. So she went on the ride, and Grayson and I went and got a drink at Joffrey's, and we kind of just hung out in the little area around like the Xandar Pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
And we just hung out and played with his toys and waited for Ashley to get out. And then she got out, and then we swapped, and then I went on the lightning lane, and it was so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So fast compared to. And I knew when I walked into the areas, like I knew where to go first. Because like the first time you ride the ride, you don't know like what doors open and where to go. Well, this one older lady knew the same thing. She's obviously rode it before.
Yeah.
So her and I were like tail and tail like the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was super fun. You obviously get to ride it again. It was a blast.
Mm-hmm.
So after we rode that, then we rode Frozen.
Right.
Or did we go to Remy's?
Well,
and then Frozen?
Grayson and I went to that cafe while you were on Guardians and got him some food.
Oh, that's right.
And then we play at the playground a little bit more? What did we do?
I don't think so. I think we went right over to Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah, that's what it was. Because then we went to Frozen after that, because I've got pictures of Frozen on here.
So, yeah, Grayson didn't really like Frozen that much. I thought he was going to be just enamored with it.
Yeah, but he's also not a girl, and Frozen's more of a girl thing.
No, but he likes those movies.
I know he likes those movies, but he could care less about that.
Yeah. Well, I was excited because it's such a good ride.
Yeah, it's a fun ride, but man, it was rough. Whenever that locks you in.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as I remember.
No.
Honestly. But it was fun.
It's still fun. But yeah, and it's the Norway Pavilion, so I'm there for that. And then after that, we walked around the World Showcase again.
Mm-hmm.
But this time we took our time through, like, we went to the China Pavilion, and we just took our a lot more time walking through these different areas. We obviously got more snacks at the bakery in Norway.
Mm-hmm.
Per usual. We got more ice cream in the Lefties, and I think that was it. But yeah.
The rice cream is so good.
Yeah, which we're actually bought the ingredients to make our own rice cream at the house.
God,
so
yeah.
we will be making
Delish.
that. Yeah, but so we just really took our time through the pavilions. We went over to the Italy pavilion and got like a really good pizza.
Well, it started to rain.
Oh yeah, so it was drizzling by the time we got over there.
Yeah.
And so we ate our pizza really quick when it wasn't raining. Got up and headed out, and it started raining again.
Pouring.
And yeah, well, by the time we got to Japan, it was pouring.
Yeah.
Pouring down rain. And I was like, damn it. Like, this sucks. And luckily, knock on wood, like, it doesn't happen next year. But we had no rain the whole time we were there until the last day.
Yeah.
So it was really perfect. And, whew, the rain, though.
It was a rough hour.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, because it started raining and we could kind of tell like it wasn't gonna just stop. So we decided to kind of head out.
Yeah.
And at this point, like, it was just a torrential downpour. Grayson wanted to play in the rain, and we're like, we're leaving anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Just be a kid. So he was jumping around in the rain, having a blast. We were headed out. By the time we got to the Skyliner, they closed the Skyliner down, and we're like, okay, like, what do we do? And they're like, oh, we're going to bring some buses around.
Yeah. Everyone to stay in line, like you're getting onto the Skyliner.
Yeah, so
but we're gonna start bringing buses over, and then like they only get so many people at a time to load up onto a bus.
Dude, it kind of sucked. Like, for Disney, the whole process here was not great. No. So what happened was, because there's lightning in the area, they had to close the Skyliner, which we understand. Totally fine. But what they did is they had us wait by the Skyliner. And then, like Josh said, they grabbed a certain number of people to get on the bus. Well, we had to walk all the way down the ramp outside, all the way around the entire, like, Skyliner port thing in the pouring torrential downpour rain. It was crazy. And then get on this freezing bus.
Yeah, and it goes literally to every stop.
Yes.
So it stops at
the
Riviera, and then Caribbean Beach, and then Pop Century, and then Art of Animation, and then over to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, so we were the fourth stop. So by the time, I mean, we were on the bus for 30-something minutes.
35
Grayson
minutes.
was literally shivering. I was holding him, like, trying to keep him warm, but we were both, like, soaked to the bone. All of us were.
All of us were.
Because you had a poncho.
Yeah, and Grayson kept freaking
I had
out
a
'cause he
broken
wanted to wear
umbrella. Grayson had danced in the rain, so he was soaking wet. Like, and then I was, like, trying to hold Grayson while we were running in the rain to get to the bus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were soaked to the core.
Yeah.
And then we get on this bus with the air conditioning, and he was
freezing.
shivering.
Yeah, and you kept laughing. You're like, Grayson, you keep shivering. And then it was like, it was sad.
I don't think I was laughing. I think I was pretty miserable because I couldn't see.
You laughed because you were like, honey, you keep shivering. Because he was like doing his little thing. But then after about 10 minutes of that, then you started to get like, he was getting fussy.
Well, I was completely soaked. He was completely soaked. I wear glasses. So my glasses were soaked. I couldn't clean them because my shirt was soaked. And so the rain dried on my glasses. Very smudgy. And if you wear glasses, you know how annoying that is. It's freezing. We're soaking wet. We're stuffed next to random people. 30 minutes of this.
Yeah.
We were over it.
Yeah, we were definitely over it for sure.
Yeah.
And I was smushed in this with large people. So I was like smushed up against the wall.
Yeah.
Because it was like, they're obviously like, make as much room as you can. We're trying to get as many people on the bus as we can. But they really just screwed up that whole system. I think they should have had buses like, hey, we need everyone that's going to the Riviera. We need you in this line. Everyone going to...
yeah, and it's like, why did they wait until...
I mean, they could have done Pop Century and Art of Animation since they're like literally right next to each other.
Yeah.
So Riviera, Caribbean Beach, we need to be in this line right here.
Yeah.
Pop Century, Art of Animation, this line right here, and then Hollywood Studios, we need to come over here to
well,
this
that's
line.
what I'm saying is, like, the whole process was a disaster.
Yeah.
And you've got cast members saying, oh, this is just for people on Skyliner resorts. Well, yeah, we came to the Skyliner. So there's no one else in this line.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the Skyliner people.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
Get us all on the same, get us all on a bus with the same resort people.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the fact that we had to go back outside into the rain.
Oh, to get to the bus.
To get to the bus.
Yeah.
And there was no way for them to tell, like, if just random people got in line.
We're running to the bus.
There was people running everywhere.
Yeah.
It was chaos.
Yeah. That really sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the last night anyway, so it really sucked because it was like, damn, this sucks. Because we wanted to go back to the Norway Pavilion
and get
to bring snacks back home.
But it was just like pouring.
Yeah. So that's how the trip ended, unfortunately, at Epcot. Which, it was funny because Grayson was like loving singing and he was like dancing in the rain and jumping and like having a good time. And Ashley and I are both like God, just get us out of this freaking shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a great time.
Chili
And
dip.
then we got back to the resort and
We shopped a little bit.
we shopped just for a couple minutes, and I got him a special pin because he did so good in the rain. And that's when I bought my Marvel Traveler mug and went back to the resort, and we all showered off and got ready for bed and
Passed
out pretty quick that night. And then we woke up the next day, packed all our crap up and loaded up, and then we headed to Animal Kingdom Lodge just because we just wanted to resort hop. Because I was really wanting to get Grayson. I was going to buy him that night we got back when we were soaking wet. I really wanted to buy him a Simba stuffy, but I was like, I don't know how Ashley's going to feel if I buy him a Simba stuffy, and like I would come back and it's with me, because I didn't know if you wanted him to like pick it out.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? Animal Kingdom Lodge is only like 10 minutes away from our resort, so maybe we should just stop by there in the morning. And then I looked up that you can resort hop. It's because I didn't know that at the time. So that's what we ended up doing. We just jumped over to that resort and we shopped for like 20, 30 minutes. We were there. And then we picked up McDonald's.
They had the bagels.
By Animal Kingdom Lodge, which they have the freaking bacon and cheese bagels.
Oh my God.
Which they don't sell those anymore. So we were like extremely hyped.
Yeah. They were good too.
Man, they were so good.
Yeah.
And then we got Grayson a McGriddle, which we were like, he's never had a McGriddle,
He's had one.
Oh, has he?
With me, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we're like, it's a pancake sandwich. And he freaking ate the whole sandwich, which we were really proud of.
Yeah.
But yeah, then after that, we got some gas and we left. And then it was a long freaking trip back home.
Long trip. We stayed in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yep.
Pretty sketch.
Yep.
I was not a fan.
Yep. We ended up getting to that hotel around
9
o'clock, and we were all tired. Grayson still hadn't gone to the bathroom because he was like fussing that he had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And it was just a mess. It was this really janky, which it looked really nice online.
Yeah, the pictures look really nice and it had good reviews.
But we got there and I was like, oh God, we're going here?
Yep. And I had to inspect the whole place. And I was like, I really don't want to stay here, but it's also too late to do much about it.
Yeah.
So we decided to sleep quick and leave at 4.
Yeah, we left at 4 a.m.
Yeah, so we left at 4 a.m.
Yeah, which we brought all of our stuff in. And
we thought our car was going to get broken into. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, God. I mean, there was like glass in the parking lot.
There was glass in the parking lot. And when you and Grayson fell asleep, I heard glass break outside. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because there was people like partying by the pool still. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. And everyone was super loud.
Yeah.
And we were just like, God, we just need to get some sleep. And the next day, Zach was like, yeah, Tupelo is kind of sketchy unless you get to the right part of town. I was like, oh, I wish I would have known that. Because I think we were in the downtown. Or no, he said you wanted to be in the downtown because that's like the newer side that they've like redone. But yeah, it was definitely just like, well, our car is going to get broken into tonight and just plan on that. And
yeah.
But like I said, I'm paranoid about that. Like, we could be anywhere, and I'm like, yep, our car is getting broken into.
Well, it didn't, so we were fine. But we left at 4 a.m.
Yep, on the nose. 4
Checked
o'clock.
out, 4 o'clock. Grayson woke up during the transfer to the car, but he fell asleep pretty quick.
Yeah, pretty much, like, as soon as we pulled out of that parking lot, he was passed out.
Yeah.
And he slept that was 4 o'clock, and I think we drove 2 hours, and we picked up breakfast, and that's when he woke back up. Because he said he was hungry. And yeah, then it was just finished the drive home and got home. And unfortunately, it was like, well, back to reality we go.
Mm-hmm.
Sucked. but it's whatever. It was such a good time. So much fun.
Mm.
I mean, we've literally talked about our trip for 3 hours now on the podcast.
Yeah.
We're an hour and a half apiece right now. So, yeah, it was so much fun, and we're planning our trip today for next year. We'll have like we want to go in the beginning of October next year. So as of now, if we go the first week of October, we have 381 days, 15 hours, and 42 minutes. Because I have a countdown on my phone, which everyone's like, why do you have a countdown? It makes you just stress out. I'm like, why not have a countdown? It's more fun. Yeah. And it just shows you how much money you need to save before then.
Yeah. But they're bringing the dining plan back for next year, so we're doing that. We can talk about that more in a different episode.
Yeah, we'll have lots to talk about.
We've got lots of Disney content coming, so stay tuned. We hope you guys enjoyed hearing about our trip. Like we said, we've got lots of Disney trip content to come. This was just like a relatively quick recap of how our trip went.
Yeah. And I think Ashley and I had already talked about this too. We kind of want to go into like more depth about like each park and like what we experienced at each park. But this, yeah, like she said, it's just kind of a recap of everything. But yeah, there's a lot of fun Disney content to come. And we still got to catch up on a few shows. Like we got to watch Ahsoka. And I don't know if we'll really do like episode breakdowns anymore, or if we'll just kind of talk about the show.
I can tell you not until like mid-October are we going to have time to do much, because we've got a big craft show.
Oh, that's true.
This is going to be our biggest craft show of the year. It's the Ozark Craft Fair.
Yeah.
And it is like notorious. It's a 3-day show. It's notoriously like swamped with people. We've never done it before, but I am like now in prep mode for getting all of our stuff ready. We've got to make so much just so that we have enough product to keep our booth full the full 3 days. So until that show is over, it's going to be small business until then.
Yep. So that'll go towards the Disney trip next year.
Yes. I'm hoping that it puts a dent into it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you like and comment and check us out on our Instagram, because we'll be posting lots of pictures there. And we'll see you in the next episode.